And you're live.
Hello and welcome everybody to Classic Kings 2019.
Oh yeah.
And I'll speak into this. Hello. Table one, we've got Dan and the beautiful Chris playing with their lovely armies, and we're going to go back to the studio now with Rob and Andy.
Hello. Yes, thank you, Ronnie, for that introduction there. You see, we are trying to. We were trying to bring a certain amount of professionalism to the stream, but instead we let Ronnie do his bit. But anyway, yes. So, welcome everyone, one and all, to. To Clash of Kings 2019. Clash of
Oh, right.
Kings. So it is me, Rob from Mantic, and obviously last year we had some great feedback from getting Dan King on to do really insightful tactical chatter. He was giving like great tips.
It was brilliant stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
High quality.
Sadly, we couldn't get Dan this year, so instead we've got Andy Sharp, Dr. Dead Zone.
Yeah, hashtag Dead Zone is live.
So, do you actually play Kings of War?
Not this century.
Not since first edition.
Not since first edition. I played Alessio once, when he was playtesting. And
Oh, yeah.
Then it's never happened.
Well, I'm sure you'll probably still do a lot better than I would. So I will be joined by Andy all weekend, and occasionally the odd guest. And the studio is sending me a message. I'm not sure what that is
It's going to be good, isn't it? We're going to be
so
we'll be commentating on each of the 6 games of Clash of Kings 2019. So game 1 is Pillage, as you can see on the screen. We've got Dan King, several times Clash of Kings UK champion with his Empire of Dust, versus Chris Walsh with his heavily converted Abyssal Dwarves.
Yeah, so
mostly sort of ogre. Mantic models and then a lot of green stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's probably 90% green stuff and 10% Mantic mod, but they look absolutely amazing. Actually, we'll try and get over the weekend. We'll be taking some pictures as well and getting those. But it's interesting actually because what you can do with Chris's army is obviously pretend it's a piece of scenery, then it starts moving.
Well, we're going to struggle to know which unit's which.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, whoa, hang on. But we've got this amazing. Hang on, what's this? So now, this time, we can actually draw on the screen.
Look at that. So that is one of his units there.
Yeah.
Heavily camouflage.
So now this is exciting that I can draw whatever I want.
Whatever.
I mean, not whatever. It's
whatever probity will allow
obviously,
you to
we
do.
had After Dark. So the first scenario is Pillage. And Mr. Sharp, would you like to read what the Pillage scenario is?
Yes, so Pillage. So the rules for Pillage are, before rolling off to choose sides, we're going to use 6 objective markers in this. That's been
So we set it,
predetermined.
yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a good way of doing things in a tournament. It just cuts down the variety between games. So players will take turns to place 1 objective each, and then roll off to see who places the first objective. So they're doing that now. They've already put them down, in fact. You can see, I think they're orange, aren't they? So 1 there just in front of where Dan's putting the army now.
Andy, I'll draw on the screen.
Yeah, why don't you do that? That'd be lovely.
I mean, I'll just be saying that all weekend.
And while Rob's doing that, so the thing with the objectives is that victory points are awarded at the end of the game as follows. 1 victory point for each objective marker you control. And so to control things, as usual, you have to be within 3 inches of it, and you have to be touching it, don't you? And within 3 inches, sorry, and no enemy within the same.
I think there's 1 there. There's 1 at the bottom.
1 just in front
Look
of.
at that. Hey, I'm getting quite good at this drawing thing. I'm actually pretty accurate now.
1 by the building and 1 just in front of
Look
dungeon.
at that.
There. Yeah.
And then there's 1 up here. So we are at the Northwest Gaming Centre in glorious Stockport.
Yeah.
The weather
Element
is
Games is
Element
Manchester.
Games.
Manchester weather.
And as well as myself and
Sun is shining above the clouds.
as well as myself and Andy commentating, we've also got Martin Cam. So Martin, go and stand in front of your camera. There we go, look at that. So there you go. occasionally what we'll be doing is we'll actually be interviewing people when they come off the tables. So Martin will be grabbing people.
And if there's anyone who wants to ask any specific questions.
If you want to ask specific questions about Martin's life. So we've had no hot pants today. You couldn't see Martin's bottom half then, but he's got Speedos on.
They are hot.
Bright gold Speedos. So Andy, should we go through the lists?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, okay, there's a war score link. He sent me that. I could probably put it somewhere. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll put it on their Facebook page so people can follow the results all weekend as well. Yeah.
Right, so shall I go
so Andy's going to go through the lists now.
The list. So Dan King is playing with Empire of Dust. So he has got 2 regiments of skeleton warriors, just basic. He's got 3 hordes of enslaved guardians, which I think are these slightly gribbly monster sort of things you can see just at the lower part of the table there. He's just put his hand by the central one.
So I think it's these 3 at the bottom here. I'm going to change my colour.
Oh, hang on. Getting technical now.
Yeah. So you're saying these ones?
Yeah, those 3.
Around there.
Yeah. That's it. Those 3 there.
There you go.
One of them has an orcish skull pole. And then he's got a regiment of scavengers, so these can fly. Can't quite see where they are just at the moment. We've got a soul snare. So this is drain life, range 18, drain life 10. There's a Revenant King on Undead Great Flying Worm, which is over to the right there of the screen, I think.
That one, I think that one?
Yeah, I think so. That has the Brew of Sharpness. He's got Mortibris. Mortibris doesn't see a lot of action out of Mortibris, so it's a brave choice. Brave choice to bring Mortibris.
I think, he's kind of been retired, I guess. Yeah. Necromancing takes it out of you.
It does. And then we've got Apathyst, the Champion of Death, on a winged worm, who I think is also over on the right.
So kind of a lot of the flying.
Most is flying over here, isn't it?
Yeah. So I guess the idea is to fly over that hill.
Yeah.
Fly over here, whoosh, bosh.
Yeah. It's doing a refused flank, isn't he? And an envelopment, a grand envelopment.
Wow, this is what tactical tips here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
anything that catches your eye on that list.
It's like the Greeks did it for the Thermopylae.
What do you think would be dangerous on there? I guess the guardians, enslaved guardians.
If you look at his list, what he's got is a huge amount of hitting power, but a small amount of units. So Dan typically runs big, heavy hitting. Large infantry hordes, so that's why he's got his guardians here in the centre, and that's going to be his sort of bulwark, and he's going to go forwards with them, he's going to hit hard with them, and then he's going to use his flyers to come round on the flank and mop things up and jump into the rear of Chris's army there. I think that's probably what it's going to be. His chaff is obviously skeleton warriors, they're just throwaway units, he's not interested in them, they're 90 points each, so they'll be...
Because they're at the back, they look like they're at the back up, don't they?
Yeah. And then, they might in this scenario be used to grab objectives, of course.
Well, I guess it's all about the unit strength, isn't it, for this one? So.
Well, not really, because it's about the objectives, isn't it?
It'd be good to get the one with the higher unit strength. Isn't it the unit strength?
Objectives,
that one?
Objectives, mate.
That's what Dan was saying about last night, isn't it?
Not in this game. No.
Okay.
Yeah, not
in Pillage? We were playing Pillage last night.
Not what I read.
Okay, well, there you go.
Doesn't matter, if you've got the objectives, you've got the objectives.
Okay.
So yeah, that's typically how Dan. The only problem Dan might face is that he is a bit of a habit under pressure for getting the scenario.
Right. Does he play Altrincham, your club, or
occasionally? Occasionally. He lives in Macclesfield, so about 40 minutes.
Right, don't tell him.
I don't know his address. Don't know his address.
And if you want to turn up his house,
17 Church Road.
Okay.
Okay. If you, he's there between 5 and 7 every day. So if you want to rob him, come between 9 and 5.
Yeah.
He's out then. He's out.
Well, he's obviously here all weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. The house is empty.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go and have a look through
Chris Walsh. So Chris has Abyssal Dwarves, heavily converted. So they're starting on round 1 already. They're moving forwards there. So Chris is moving forwards with his lesser obsidian golems in the centre, flanked on either side by his 2. He's got a greater obsidian golem, which is the smaller of the 2 castles. Can't see which one's which. And then Infernox is the other one. I think Infernox is the more central one from what I can see here. And then moving up behind, he's got some Slave Orcs, a Cachusan rocket launcher. He's got 2. Sorry, not Cachusan. He's a Dragonfire team moving up there. He's just checking the charge distance of Dan's flyers to make sure he stays out of that. moving up with his horde of Black Souls here, trying to and making sure he stays outside of that charge range. Then you can see just to the right of those, he's got 2 Katyushin rocket launchers. These are modelled as like towers, which are quite nice. And then he's got some gargoyles. He's just jumping over the back there. And then the really big winged model you can see there is Basusu the Vile, which is the gargoyle special character. Again, heavily converted by Chris. What else has he got in his...
yeah, John Fox says it is the highest unit strength controls your objective.
Thanks, Jonathan. I'm glad you know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I thought,
so that's only if it's contested.
It's only because I wouldn't have known unless Dan had mentioned it last night.
Yeah, that's only if it's contested.
Yeah.
So obviously if you've got the objective on your own, then you're fine. Yes, that's what I meant. Of course. Yes, of course. Absolutely.
So Johnson says Dan gone with weakness on his enslaved guardians.
Let's have a look. Has he gone with weakness on his enslaved guardians? No, he has an orcish skull pole. Just going to check what that does. This unit has the brutal special rule. Yeah, it has a brutal special rule, so that's about pure damage from Dan there.
Dan was saying he kept forgetting to use that.
Yeah.
Interestingly.
Well, it can be game breaking. Yeah.
So I don't know if he was saying he was going to put something on his unit to actually kind of indicate clearly that it had it.
Yeah, he's. So with those enslaved guardians of Dan there, I mean they are putting out some serious damage. 18 attacks, melee 3, and their nerve is dash 17. I mean they're brutal, and defense 5. They'll all be sticking around. Plus life leech, crusher strength 2, and they've all got wind blast 5. That's actually pretty grim, actually.
Yeah. Although he had a practice game last night and he lost.
Well, you know that's what you're doing. Lose your first one, learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, I said that. I played Marauders in Dreadball. I played against Martin, lost.
Yeah,
and then went on to win. I went on to win the Cope Prosperity Cup.
We didn't finish Chris's list there actually. So the other things in Chris's list are you can just see down the right hand side. That's these abyssal half breeds I think that have gone charging down there.
And then the left hand side, that one.
On the left hand side, followed by some more slave orcs. And then up at the top right by those gargoyles, he's a mortal guard, a regiment of mortal guard with blessing of the gods.
So I don't know if this is similar to the list he had last year, actually.
It's going to be quite a bit of a bludgeon fight, this one. There's some big hitters from both of these armies. There's some reasonably high nerve as well on both sides. So, it's going to be a bit of a grind match, I think, for the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, so Dan actually challenged Chris on Fanatics. He said he wanted to take him on, so do you reckon that's tactical?
Sorry.
Is that tactical?
What? Ronnie's coming over. Ronnie, do you want me to put you on the camera again? Are you, while we're just waiting?
I'll be on camera while you read the Facebook post I just put up.
Okay.
Can you hear me over there? I mean, can you
I'm sure we can hear you.
Can't hear that, can they? Miles away. I will project. Hello, welcome. Game 1's underway. We're having a lot of fun here. I just put a Facebook post up there, so pop on over and have a little look, introducing what's going on and some of the characters. We'll be posting and photographing all day. And I'm going to go roving reporter with my fancy phone and get some army photo shots for you all. So
you're going off roaming, are you?
I'm going off-roading, you say?
Roaming.
Off-roaming. So I'll roam away.
So right, let's go back. Well, thanks, Ronnie.
No pleasure, thank you. I'll go take some photos.
Okay, he's going to take some photos.
I haven't seen it yet. Didn't come on.
Big. It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Oh, John Fogg says, love your hat. Love your hat.
Nice. It's Steve Hildrew.
Oh yeah, I see. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, that's last night's one. Yeah, it's blending in well. Oh right.
You tell me here it appears they told me about 10 minutes ago. That was
absolutely, yeah. I never say anything to Ronnie. That's the key, isn't it?
Also, John. John was saying that the last time Dan and Chris played, Chris won. So I think Dan, if Dan wins, that's the point. Is Tom Robinson here?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Okay, so in that case,
anyone could win. He's won the last two, isn't he?
Yeah, so Tom won 2018, 2016.
Yeah.
Nick won 2017. So that's interesting. That means Dan has definitely won the most. Dan's definitely won the most Clash of Kings on this trophy. Then that's interesting.
And of course, what does the winner receive?
The winner is it's a surprise at the minute.
Yeah. No, I don't mean the surprise, but we know what one thing.
Oh yeah, one thing. So
the
winner
abroad.
The winner with the longest ever army is 90% Mantic.
How's that judged?
Well, on actual model count.
So actual models.
So if you've got 100 models, 90 of those are Mantic models.
That's good because I don't think it's always. I don't think people are always 100% sure why.
No, so normally we.
And I guess it's flexible, isn't it?
Because some of it's based on. I think it gets a bit confusing when you start to like units. Individual units and things. But yeah, we typically say.
Particularly when you don't make it. Some of the things you don't make a unit for, of course.
And I think, look, we're not monsters.
Well, you do like monsters.
Oh yeah, we do like monsters.
You do like them.
We're fairly lenient.
Basically, that's all you're making these days.
Yeah. Nick is a member of Team Moonraker.
Moonraker.
Yeah, he's got a nice. I think it's Moonraker. I thought.
It is Moonraker. So why you say Moonraker?
Because that's what John Fox told me.
I just tapped his Mantic Games. They picked up the picture and identified. Just not getting
Really?
these days. I didn't.
Big Brother is watching. And he's not only watching, he's recording as well.
So looking at the. What's that?
Should we take the.
Oh yeah, well I suppose it's handy for people to know. We can always draw it back on. It's handy for people to know where the pillage markers are. But we'll take them off for the moment. So at the minute it looks like. Well, actually, it's probably worth putting some of them on just so you can see where. Because a couple of them are under the units now. Like I think, aren't they? I think there's one just there.
Yeah,
so it looks like Chris must have that one at the minute.
No, so that's Dan's.
Oh, is that Dan's?
Dan's flyers have come up there. So that's actually his regiment of flyers, isn't it? I think. So you can see how Chris has moved Basusu into the flank there. Although he's not getting him now, he's lining up obviously to put some pressure on him next
Dan's turn 1.
Yeah. So Chris has already moved forwards. He's sort of just trudged forwards really there, hasn't he? With his look at that central part of all those golems there. Golems or golems? What are you going to go?
I say golems.
Do you? I prefer golems. I've started saying golems.
Maybe I say golems. Let's see. Because Gollum is obviously Gollum from. Wow. Didn't realise we had acting talent.
I'm gonna feel that one.
Do you want to talk about Matt, just to make sure that he doesn't go off? What do you want to talk about?
So at the minute, Dan's got the one on the right. I'll tell you what, I will draw them on again, just because I keep forgetting where they are. It's my age.
It's not there.
No, it's it's nearly there. There it is. There's one.
There you go.
So the problem is what you can't see at home is that I've got a big white screen where I have to kind of try and work out where everything is. Oh, that was too far. That was too low. There we go.
With talent like this,
I know.
The talent.
Yeah, the talent.
Yeah, there you go. There's another one there, and then where's that's 1, 2, 3.
One just
just
by
Dan's
Dan's shoulder at the moment by that little rock.
Oh, that was.
Huh? No, I don't think so. I wasn't asked to. Well, Matt should be.
Matt.
He knows
Yeah.
the game better than anyone. Better than anyone.
wrong twice.
Who did?
Because it's been changing. That's why we consult this one.
Oh, right. He's all Vanguard these days.
So yeah, if you've got any kind of questions, well, we will. We might have a few little sneak peeks about 3rd edition as well while we're here.
What?
What? Well, I've got the book on my Kindle.
Do you want me to show you some information?
Maybe later. Let's not use everything all at once, Martin. We've got things. We've got to entertain everyone for an entire weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to.
Entertainment, is that what I said?
Yeah.
It's entertainment. Only for us, mind you.
Oh my god.
It's a bit lively, that chair.
So yeah, John says we've got some wind blast shenanigans going on. I guess that will be particularly handy for like blasting them off the pillage marker.
Either blasting them off, or you can target your own units as well, can't you?
Yeah,
you have
so
to send them in a
push them,
direct
yeah.
line, so you could push your own units into combat, but you have to be staggered, of course, because
Yeah.
you've got to shooting in the right direction. But yeah, certainly pushing people off objectives is huge. Or just pushing them back sometimes so that then they can't make the charge that you would do. I think Wind Blast is probably one of those spells that's underappreciated. Underappreciated, that's the right word I'm trying to think of, yeah. Because
I guess people tend to go...
subtle, isn't
it? Yeah.
It's like a reverse surge, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You know, you're affecting the enemy's units rather than surge affecting your own units mostly. I'd have to check if Wind Blast works on your own, actually. I'm sure you can.
So this looks like it's Chris's turn 2.
He's lining up some nice flanks here, but isn't he? There's Abyssal Half-Breeds coming in to hit one of those Enslaved Guardians there. Should do some damage. And then the Slave Orcs just behind there, probably out of range, those Slave Orcs, I would think.
Oh, no targeting own units.
Oh, thank you very much, Newbie Dice, for commenting on that.
I'm thinking of some. I think I'm thinking of some of the Vanguard stuff as well, where you can kind of push your own units.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to say that if you're tuning in here expecting high quality critical analysis of gameplay, then you should mute the sound and do your own.
Well, luckily Dan says he might pop on occasionally.
If you want fun and frolics, from Elmer and Dobbs.
There we go. Yeah, Elmer and Dobbs. Yeah, the Dreadball crew.
What you're getting. Or Waldorf and Sadler.
Yeah, and they're the Muppets ones.
They're the Muppets.
Yeah. Okay, so he's having a good measure. He's measuring up some bits and bobs there.
Yeah, so I suspect he's staying out of.
How far can the Enslaved Guardians go?
Enslaved Guardians can charge 12.
Okay, so they're pretty nippy, really.
They are pretty nippy.
I think he is just checking there that he's out.
Yeah, so it doesn't allow him a lot of room, but he's getting close enough.
So what would you say Dan's going to do with these Enslaved Guardians? Do you reckon he's going to take the charge or avoid that one from the...
Yeah, I think those half-breeds in the flank will be nasty though, so I think he's got to deal with them. He hasn't got that much else on that side. There's just what's that behind there? Is that just a skeleton?
The skeletons. So I guess he's got the skeletons to keep hold of the pillage marker.
Yeah, but they won't last against the half-breeds either. So, I mean, if those half-breeds come destroy the skeletons, take the marker, then his Enslaved Guardians have got no way really of getting back to contest it.
No.
So he's basically giving that one up then, which probably all right. Probably better that than losing your Enslaved Guardians, I guess. But yeah, it's a bit cagey at the minute, isn't it? There's not a lot of shooting from Dan. He's got very little ranged attack, and
in fact, what has he got? Has he got any?
I think he's only got Mortibris really. With
Right.
Lightning Bolt 4. But to be honest, he's probably going to use him more for his other abilities to buff. And probably to surge. Where is Mortibris there actually?
I think Mortibris must be. Yeah, is he with the? No, is he? Yes, I think he is just behind.
So he's obviously that's something you can bear in mind. So yes, whilst they're out, he can. He's got Surge 10, so our unit is getting in. Almost certainly. I mean, you'd bank on it having, well, a minimum of 4 inches of extra movement, wouldn't you? Which you only need. He only needs an extra 1 inch because Chris has stayed just out.
I wondered then why Nick Williams was wandering around, but it's because he played his first game last night.
Oh, really?
That was his first game, yeah. So him and
okay.
Steve Hildrew, countercharge Steve, played their first game last night on the live stream. We had a little bonus extra late night Hot Pants episode.
Clash of Kings After Dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously that's why he's wandering around now.
That's interesting. So you see that Chris has just moved his horde there of Black Souls.
Yeah.
So to face off against the flyers from Dan, and he was just checking the distance from those Enslaved Guardians. So I'm not quite sure. It looks a decent distance, so they're probably going to be out of surge, which is why Chris has felt bold enough to do that. Because obviously that's a potentially very tasty flank on a horde there.
And obviously that would be, we were talking about this now, but it would be slightly different in 3rd edition because when you're measuring the charges, it's no longer from that centre point. It can be from the corners.
Is that so?
Boom! Yeah.
Oh, sneak peek dropped in.
I think we've talked about that Well, no, actually. But yeah, that makes a big difference, kind of. So this looks like...
There's quite a few fun things in 3rd edition about charging, isn't there? So there's a bonus with...
Yeah, the wild charge.
Which can give you one or a few extra inches depending on the strength of it. Hills have an effect now, don't they?
Yes, you can charge down them. Get a bit more bonus there.
Does that give you TC? Is it?
Possibly, yeah.
I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly.
I think I don't want to start thinking too much about 3rd edition because then I'll get confused about 2nd edition.
Well,
So.
we don't know for 2nd edition.
Well, we don't know either, so I mean that's the best way.
Absolutely.
Complete idiocy.
Yeah. 3rd edition looks great, by the way. 2nd edition, not so sure. Kidding, of course. That's some dice being rolled.
Yeah. So this must be.
It's a bad miss.
Nah.
I had to get that in. Had to do it early.
Shocking defending.
Honestly, yeah. It's like the Ireland team against Japan this morning.
Nah.
Oh, should have. Have you ever seen
Yeah,
the
no
result?
spoilers.
Have you ever seen the result?
It's all fine. Oh, so Fireball. He's doing some shooting now, so that's a Fireball on the. I overheard slightly then. So he's just chipping away at the enslaved Guardians. Yep. No.
I forgot to mention in Chris's army, he's got one character, which is Dravak Dalkan, a unique character. He's just behind the horde of Black Souls there. You just see him under
Oh, so he has that little
Chris's
combo
elbow.
with Infernox, I think. If I remember rightly, they can kind of.
Well, he's got heal for golems only, so that's.
Oh, maybe that's changed.
Probably a
but
bit
yeah.
far out of there. What else? He has Bound Soul. Yes. So each point of damage dealt by Dravak's Fireball heals 1 point of damage dealt previously dealt to Infernox. So and there's no range limit on that. So
No.
I guess that's the whole battlefield. So even though they're not close together,
Yeah.
Infernox is actually I think Infernox is the one closer to the big building, isn't he? Because he looks like
Yeah,
a
well,
taller.
should we go and find out? Sorry, I've just injured Andy there in the. So Andy, if you can just sit there crying for a moment.
Yeah, I'll be here, I'll be alright. So yeah, Rob's just going to go and do a bit of a roving reporter, actually. So I can talk about him now. Here he goes, wandering along. Right, so Chris has just finished, just clicked his clock.
There we go. So I don't know if you saw them pointing. Well, actually, you won't see them because it's not in real time. But Infernox is the one closest to the rock.
Ah, in the centre.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's hard to see from above here. They are different sizes when you look from the table
Yeah.
side, but
You can kind of see. Obviously, we've got the side view slightly, but it's a bit smaller.
yeah. So it's over to Dan now. Dan is lining up for his turn. Oh, hang on.
Me, hang on. Sorry, I just accidentally knocked the microphone with my chair there.
Is that your fault?
Yeah, that is my fault.
Shocking.
Sorry. So yeah, if you wonder what that noise was, it was.
It's you.
Yeah, it's me.
So Dan is obviously deciding what to do first. He's lining up which is the best target for his flyers here.
What do you think he's going to do about that? Those abyssal, the half-breeds.
I don't know. I'm not sure what he's going to do about them really, because he's got, like I say, he's got the option of turning his enslaved guardians, but then, well, I guess they're protecting the objective. If he turns them a bit, he's not really presenting much of a flank to anyone. I think he's going to end up with a flank on someone. But if he's got a flank on the golems, then
So obviously
they
the
might not
half-breeds
reach
are
him.
easily in range.
Oh, the
aren't
half-breeds will be in range, yeah. I don't think the others will be, because they're all shambling, aren't they? So,
Yeah.
Well, they could charge, but he's measured 12 inches out, I think, when Chris moved up.
Yeah.
So presumably they'll be out of their own charge. And there's no surge, I don't think. There's no surge in Chris's list, so Dan should be pretty happy for a round if he doesn't want to move it. Oh, that's a good move. That's coming over there. He's going to be his Apathyst, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's Revenant King. I'm not sure which.
So there you go, he's just checking, I think, there to make sure they haven't got a charge on him.
Yeah, so that's really going to upset Chris, because now he can't really do much about that. He can turn things, but he can't do anything about it in his
No.
actual round to do any damage.
Oh,
on it.
there
We go.
There we go. So they are in within charge.
Yeah, I thought he'd measured they were out, so it's a double charge there
Against
onto Infernox. So if he can take Infernox off, That's a big effect. That's 180 points in Fernox, so getting rid of him and taking that central part out of Chris's army would be huge, actually. Checking he's out of the Abyssals.
Well, it went from being very cagey to sort of a sudden like whack.
All in.
So here we go. He's looking what to do about the half breeds.
Yeah. I guess Chris must have decided that he was going to take the charge anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, what's in Fernock? Do you reckon he'll survive this one, or?
Well, I don't know. That's 36 dice on 3s with Crush 2. In Fernox, yes, he does have a defense 6 and a nerve -20, but 36 dice hitting on 3s, so he's going to get what, say 24 getting in, of which half was going to be 12. So.
Wow, this is good math.
Yeah, I mean that's taking him down to something like an 8, maybe a 6 or 8 to break him. That's certainly doable, isn't it? I mean, that would be a bad loss. A bad loss if he takes the Infernox off.
I guess the Barbie thing on the back of Dan's shirt is a reference. Didn't you sing "I'm a Barbie Girl" once by Aqua at a previous Clash of Kings?
I think it's one of his favourite songs.
Okay.
It's a karaoke classic.
So it looks like they're just measuring. It's interesting actually when going back earlier when Dan was measuring to see if the unit at the top had a charge in him, because he was saying last night that Nick wasn't always. He was often checking things by eye and not actually measuring it out, and that actually tripped him up. So I think Dan's clearly kind of.
Yeah, in a game where you're allowed to pre-measure, then you should.
John says a doctor who can do maths. What magic is this? Are you a proper doctor?
How much of a doctor do you want me to be?
Well, if someone broke their leg in here today, would you be able to fix it?
The things I can solve is this is not the environment for it. Can't do anything about nurses anyway.
Okay.
Alright, so looks like Dan is deciding that caution is the better part of Valor here. Oh, thanks, Fred. Oh, cheers, man. Look at that.
I ignored it.
You're ignoring it?
Yeah. Oh, okay, so he's...
Yeah, so I'm not going to read that one out. Yeah, so Dan's playing a bit safe here by locking down those Abyssal Half-Breeds. Because, of course, whilst by moving out there, he keeps the Abyssal Half-Breeds away and off of the objective. He keeps them further away, which makes it more likely his skeletons at the back will keep hold of it.
It's very good. He's saying obviously take the charge, but actually he's tactically playing the scenario.
Yeah, because even if it take 2 turns probably to grind out those Slave Guardians.
Yeah.
And then he's only breaking through a few inches, so it keeps him away from that objective, which that's not playing tactically, isn't it? Well, I guess that's what you should do. You should play tactically.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
Just 2 seconds. I'm just gonna go quiet for 1 second. Sorry, just checking that the live stream's working, because it's a comment. Someone was saying it's restricted. Now, I could understand it last night when we had the hot pants on, it being restricted content, but today we should be fine. So you can see here, Dan's obviously got a lot of... oh, sorry, yes, fine. Yes, it is working. Yeah, good. Okay, sorry, just checking there.
16 watching.
My glamorous assistant Martin there was just making sure we're actually live. So yeah, remember, if you've got any questions, you can ask them below. And also, if there's any questions you'd like to ask Ronnie
or Nick Williams,
Nick Williams is around. If you've got any questions for him, or Ronnie, or Matt Gilbert, I'm sure we can grab them. Don't ask me or Martin or anything. We don't know, unless it's about goblins, in which case I know all about it. Or painting. Yes, you can ask you about painting. Yeah.
No tactics.
No tactics.
List building.
But no, it's interesting actually to see, Dan is really kind of making sure with all these measuring sticks and things like that, checking all the charge lanes and things. I mean, he probably will say that he's not bothered about winning, but I think Dan would quite like to win this one.
Have you drawn any pictures yet?
Have I drawn any pictures yet? No. So,
Fine. Magnus, please.
Just putting in your drinks order.
It's 11 o'clock, so it's 11's.
I'll have a Magnus.
John says Dan trying to angle to put both on Chris. Yeah, I guess he just wants to make sure he's kind of giving him choices, or making him make choices rather than giving him choices. So it went so Martin's just joined us. It went from very cagey to.
They've gone with savage bloodletting now, with them. Who was on top at the moment?
Well, kind of this one with Pillage, you're not really going to see until the end, really, because it can go. I mean, last night when we were watching the game, then it looked like Nick had got it, but then it all kind of switched over. So where the red dots are, that's where the Pillage markers are.
Okay.
And then it's who's got their units on those at the end of the game, and then it also goes down to unit strength. So the bigger your unit.
Okay.
So obviously unit strength is a big thing in 3rd edition as well, where it's actually specified as well, which is really useful. It's all my lovely goblin hordes. Lots and lots of unit strength for that one.
What's my Legion of Scarecrows? It must be like
Legion of
unit
Scarecrows.
strength 9 million.
I can actually Martin, I'll check for you while we're.
Unit strength 9 million. You've heard it here first.
Yeah, I don't think that's correct. So Night Stalkers. So actually, I've got. I've actually got a copy of 3rd edition on my Kindle actually. So
we can do some spoilers while nobody's watching.
If Infernock dies, so John Fox says if Infernock dies, Dan wins. Yeah, I mean that would be a big. We were kind of trying to work out the maths of. Okay, so look. So you're asking for unit strength on a Legion of Scarecrows. The unit strength would be 4 for that. Goblins, because we all want to know about goblins. So Legion of Sharpsticks is 4 as well. So yeah, so it's based on obviously legions, regiments, hordes, legions. Risky play needing 8 on average. Yeah, so let's just go through. Let's have a look at Infernock's stats again, actually. So Infernock, he's like a kind of special character. So he's got speed 5, melee 4+, range, defense 6+. So, I mean, it's still, it's pretty tough. But then again, if Dan's slamming into him with the Enslaved Guardians, they're crushing strength 2. Also, it'll be interesting to see if Dan has gone into him with the one with the Orcish skull pole as well, because that'll give him a bonus with brutal. So yeah, nerve dash 20. So he's not going to be wavering. And then the other thing, of course, is that if Dan kind of comes back and does some damage with Dravak Dalkan next turn, then he'll kind of heal a lot of those wounds. Here you go. So Dan's just doing all his attacks now, so it looks like. Yeah, it sounds like Dan was saying then.
Hi Paige
from
Singapore.
Oh,
another Singaporean.
Yeah, so he's supporting Mod.
Mod, yeah. It's come all the way, isn't it, from Singapore? That's a hell of a trip.
That is an amazing trip.
It's about, what, 18 hours, I think? Or
also, so Infernock's fine for that one. He survived.
Bounce back.
And let's find out how many wounds.
That's a bad miss, that's a bad miss.
How many wounds on Infernock? Chris? 12 wounds.
Oh, yeah, so that was...
Yeah, that was nearly. So 12 wounds.
12 was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
actually. Yeah. Dan said he should probably Bane Chanted.
Yeah, that would have taken it down to 3s, wouldn't it, to England? Yeah, they could have used more Tebris for that.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure, Paige, if he did have the skull pole in that one.
Yeah, it's in one of them.
Let me ask.
Do you guys have extra pen?
A pen?
Yeah.
Dan?
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, he's busy now. I won't disturb him now, look.
Yeah, so that...
Oh, sorry, was it the one with the skull pole in that one or not?
Oh, it was with the skull pole.
Oh. I just asked if it was.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a risky strategy from Dan, but it wasn't
basically
crazy.
Close. Yeah,
I mean,
he's Gad.
In fact, I mean, it came out pretty much as my maths predicted, wasn't it?
Yeah, very well done.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
No, yeah, some.
He's got Bane Chant on Mortibris.
But he didn't do the Bane Chant.
So Chris is going to spend all day with his Black Souls just turning them around.
Yeah.
to face them. This is one of the problems with flyers, isn't it? Is that once they get around you, they're so much more manoeuvrable than you are, and you've got.
I've often spent. I've played a couple of games against Dan. Been unfortunate or lucky enough, I guess, depending on which one you look at it.
Yeah.
And I did spend a lot of my time just turning around on the spot.
I'm just looking at. So Chris has got his 2 rocket launchers there, isn't he? I mean, they've got 3 attacks each, blasty 3. I was thinking, would they potentially take off his flyer? But no, they're not going to be strong enough on their own. So he needs to do something to counter.
Okay, so the Great Obsidian has charged in along with the. So Maurice, hi. Will the 3rd edition ship on the 21st, or will it be shipped to? So we are going to try. Well, we're certainly going to try, particularly for the web orders, is to get it shipped to arrive by the 21st. That's the idea at the minute. In fact, the copies should be in the office in the next couple of weeks, possibly even the end of next week, which is quite exciting. So, it won't be long. So we go. So now the Abyssal Half-Breeds and the Great Obsidian are charged in. Come on. Oh, look.
Puking weasel.
Never tell Ronnie Renton a secret. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The world will know it. You were happy it's out there.
Life's too short for secrets, mate. Life's too short for that.
You just think even more. Live in the moment, live in the dream.
Yeah, that's what I say to myself every day.
Is this Chris's turn? Turn 3.
Three.
Yeah, that's right. So
Although Chris started though, didn't he? So
yeah, so it's Chris' turn.
Yes.
I think it's turn 3 now.
It is turn 3. So yeah, that's going to make a mess of that Guardian unit, isn't it? With Infernox in the front and the.
No, so it's the Obsidian Golem. Infernox is still.
No, that's it.
Infernox was the one there, the rock.
Yeah,
sorry,
he
I
shifted
thought
across
you,
because he's done a joint charge onto that. He did a counter charge, and then you've got a flank charge from the Golems.
Sorry, I thought. Game could be decided by. I don't know.
Well, I think you're sort of right in some ways because if the big units go, then it could easily. I think that's what we're saying about the game being decided at this stage.
Yeah.
It's often like that, though, isn't it? If you lose the linchpin of your army, then you're really scrabbling around and you're waiting for someone to make a mistake. Then, obviously, it's not impossible that anyone can make a mistake, but the good players will make fewer of them.
Yeah.
Typically.
I think one of the big things in Kings of War you tend to find is those mistakes can be just a little tiny bit of positioning. Almost.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just be at an angle or something, or an inch shorter than you thought, or maybe not a mistake, but you end up having to take a risk that you wouldn't necessarily do, like a surge, or hoping someone doesn't spot something, and then you ended up missing out on a below average dice roll, which you wouldn't normally take, but you're just doing it because you're always trying to push that a little bit more. So those gargoyles and Basusu just locking down the other flyer there. I'm going to find out which flyer's which, actually.
Okay, so Andy's just going to find out which flyer. So one of them is the Revenant King and one of them is the Champion. No, it's not. It's the something else. Oh, it's the it is a Papis, Champion of Death. So we're just going to work out which one's which. So here's Andy's coming back now.
Yeah, so Apathis is the one on the right.
Is the one on the right.
And then the central one is the Revenant King.
Okay, so the... what's that, Andy? You want me to draw on the screen? Well, I can do here.
Can you draw a picture of a dragon?
A dragon?
Riding a unicorn.
So, you're saying that one...
That's the Revenant King.
That's the Revenant King. And then the one here, around that, is Apathis.
With the... Pappy. Pappy, exactly right. Everyone calls him Pappy.
Yeah, good old Pappy.
Good old Pappy. Good old Pappy.
So, okay, so Apathis is 265 points, Fence 5, Nerve, Dash 21. So pretty tough. You can be hard to shift, I think, that one. And then the Revenant King on Undead Great Flying Worm is, again, Defense 5 plus, Nerve Dash 20. So both a couple of hard units to shift.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the strongest things about these big hard flyers is that some flyers you can, if you get a charge them, you can take them off. The little puny gargoyles and stuff like that. But these ones, you've got to put some serious damage into them. If you don't get them, yes, you've stopped them flying, but they're still hard hitters, so they can just grind it out as well. You a big fan of grinding it out, Rob?
Often, yeah. Typically on a Saturday night, I'll be grinding it out.
Charging. You've got 369 or something, you've got 90 yards.
There you go. So Chris is. Let's have a look. It looks like he's.
He's rolling a dice.
Yeah.
There you go. One dice. A one dice attack, not the strongest attack.
We could have a little audio actually over the table to find out what's going on as well. We could find out.
Yeah, and they're
Spy on
gone.
them.
Yeah, so those Guardians have gone. As expected,
Yeah.
you get a great
Oh, so that was the
obsidian
attack against the.
and a half freeze into that. That was gonna be pretty nasty, and it's proven. I think that could be quite a big move there actually, because now we've got two objectives on Chris's side there. He's got one with his slave orcs who are pretty much just safe, unless that the king could fly over to take out the orcs there.
I think it was at 4, Jerry McCabe. I think it was at 4, but I don't know if it's answered or if I missed it. Are the players' lists up anywhere already? They're not up already. No, they obviously everything will be on War Score.
And Nick Williams is going to take all the lists
Yes.
and put them on his.
They'll be on the Kings
ranking.
of War Masters. Yeah, so they will be on the rank. So at the minute, no, but they will be going up eventually. But yeah, we obviously the ones that are on the live stream will read through.
And I think we're all waiting for Rob to do his grinding in the next Mantic video, aren't we? I think that.
I'll tell you, dressed as a goblin.
I mean, you've got
Oh,
a
wait.
grinder account, haven't you?
No. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because I'm up over to on tabletop, so that could be. Oh. Backtracking, he's desperately backtracking there.
So yeah, that Chris's right flank looks like it's got a good enveloping move there. Probably going to lose those those enslaved guardians in the middle there as well. I think Dan's actually looking. Dan's looking a little bit.
He's a bit wobbly here.
Yeah, I think it's looking pretty strong for Chris here. I mean, that right side of Chris's army is looking very good. Yeah, and there goes those other enslaved guardians. Yeah, which means, of course, that the central enslaved guardians are dead next turn as well.
Not good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dan. Just Dan
Popping
decrying
his head
what's
over,
happened. So yeah, and that all stems really from not taking Infernox off.
I think that's what it was. I think
If you'd have taken that, you'd have changed your flanks. You'd have been happy then, because there was nothing on the other side of the table that could have charged down at that stage. And he'd have been taking front charges then from those strong units, which of course he may still have lost a unit, but you probably wouldn't have lost. Well, you may not have lost it at all actually, and then you'd be left counter-attacking.
so. The minute Dan's only got 2 pillage.
He's got 2 tokens, but they're both held by skeletons.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying. Oh, yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, the other one's contested over with Pappy over on the right.
Yeah.
There. You're absolutely right, Jerry. Chris's army is spectacular.
Yeah.
Good, actually. The amount of effort that man has spent. I mean, he clearly doesn't like his family.
No.
He's spent enough time concentrating on making miniatures. I mean, that looks like one of my miniatures that's been put down there.
There we go.
A base only. So just trying to
Oh, there
work
you go.
out
So the
exactly how to get in there.
what's he doing now? He's it Revenant King's not just flying
Revenant
off, is he?
King, I think he's jumping him into somewhere so he can keep him safe, basically. He's got the 2 flame fire teams there. Yeah, they're not much, obviously, of a threat. They're put a reasonable amount of breath out, 10 each, but that's not going to take off the king. Well, I guess it could, but pretty unlikely.
What's the measurement on Chris's top right?
If you mean the top right of the screen, that's
Yeah.
actually 2 Katyushan rocket launchers. They look like a regiment or a horde, don't they? But they're actually 2 separate ones.
Oh, so
together.
that's on the top. Hang on. Do you want me to draw?
Yeah, let's draw.
Okay, let's draw. So we're talking about these ones here, is it?
Not there.
No, I think that's what he's asking, isn't he? He's. I don't know if you're asking about
Yeah,
those
it
ones.
could be. Yeah. So
If it's those ones you're asking about, that will be the
that his Immortal Guard.
Immortal Guard.
Immortal Guard. So they've done nothing yet. They're just there, aren't they?
No, I've missed it. There we go. So we're saying that's the Immortal Guard.
That's Immortal Guard.
And then those 2 are the rocket
They're
launchers.
2 separate rocket launchers.
There we go.
Katyushan. and they are actually huge. He's built them up like a tower with a gun cupola on the top. Really quite impressive.
So that must be Mortal Brisk now.
It makes me cry a little bit actually looking at Chris's army.
I think it's inspirational.
No.
What, you cry?
No, it makes me cry.
Okay.
It makes me cry. It's a shame. Because I paint like I've got cataracts. Excuse
dear, of course
excuse
we do,
Rob here, he's just dying.
So we've got we're coming up to the hour mark now, so still an hour left. But I think, well, I mean, we're on.
This will be wrapped up before then, won't it?
Nah,
this will be wrapped
this
up.
is our turn 3, so about halfway through. So what
They're
can
going to flank Pappy next, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pappy is Pappy can't get away from this. It's the problem for Pappy. He's
what can Dan do?
surrounded there. He's just brought. I think he's just brought in his little flyers, his scavengers, aren't they? So they're all right. They're not going to do much though.
He's moving
gargoyle and a flank. Yeah, they could take gargoyles off because the defence is so low. But yeah, then those Immortal Guard are going to just mince him, aren't they? I mean, Immortal Guard, they're not putting out a huge number of attacks, but they've got Crush 1 and Blessing of the Gods and hit on freeze anyway, so they'll do a decent number of wounds on him, probably half a dozen wounds.
So he's
and
putting his skeleton
warriors
behind there.
Well, those two skeleton warrior units closest at the bottom of the screen are just guarding those two objectives, really, aren't they?
I mean, they'll get minced.
Well, the one on the left is definitely going to get minced because those half breeds will just take that off almost in one go, I think. The one round the back will probably survive the game actually because it's just a bit awkward to get to. And Chris will probably hope that he can get enough objectives elsewhere.
So I guess you got the Revenant King's probably going to go up to the one at the top. You think? Maybe the one in the middle? Maybe?
I don't think he'll go there unless Dan thinks that's going to make him win the game.
Okay. Actually, he could, on the left side of the screen, the far left one, he could potentially try and
get those slave orcs off. Yeah, he could do.
Quite easy.
Probably just about see them. Yeah, hit them in the flank actually. I think because they're just poking beyond the.
Yeah, I wonder if he's checked that one.
That could definitely be something. And I think at this stage, I mean, Dan is definitely going to be looking at where he can get objectives. I mean, he's not getting that central one, I think.
No.
You know,
the bottom left is probably going to get taken out.
Yeah, he's going to keep the bottom centre one. I think he's probably fairly happy he'll keep that one. Pappy, I think, well, he could keep it over on the right of the screen, but it's going to be touch and go whether he survives that, I think. So I guess Dan will be looking at where he can pick up that extra one.
So I guess those scavengers could take out
They could take the gargoyles off.
Take out the gargoyles out.
And then the Immortal God have a choice then. Does he go for Pappy or does he go for scavengers? I think he'd go for Pappy because Basusu isn't going to do anything now because he's dead.
Basusu's dead.
Yeah. So Basusu has gone. You know what I think about Basusu? He's vile. Genuinely vile. But that's actually quite good there. I mean, if those gargoyles do go, actually suddenly things look a lot better there, and then the Immortal God would have to go into Pappy.
And
if they don't go into Pappy, he's flying away and attacking things that giving Dan some tactical flexibility.
So the Enslaved Guardians are the remaining. He's only got one Enslaved Guardian.
One left,
and they've charged into the Horde and that's the Horde of what?
Black Souls.
Black Souls.
But they're not going to take them off because they're nerve 21-23, so that's just a stopping action.
Oh, and the gargoyles are gone now as well.
Right, so that's actually really good for Dan. He's clawed that flank back quite a bit, so that means the Immortal Guard have got to take Pappy, really, or have got to lock Pappy down, I would think. Because if they go for the scavengers, which they could, sure, you'll kill them, but then Pappy will just hit you in the flank, so you can't.
Then again, I guess they're probably not going to take Pappy out, are they? So it's going to be...
No, but they'll stop him flying.
Yeah. But then you'll get the scavengers, they're going to be...
And having said that, well, those scavengers, though, I think Chris would probably be looking at using both of his rocket launchers on them. Because their nerve's really quite low. So if he can get a few wounds on them, he could take them off. What?
Blimey. Whoa. Hang on, what?
Oh, my goodness. What did you roll for that?
I rolled a 6, but
that's nasty.
It was fine, but been soul snared to like 15 damage or something.
Oh, okay.
So that's something we missed. So they already had a bunch of damage we didn't know about. Because we weren't expecting that.
No, no.
Suddenly there's a big swing there again, isn't there? I still think there's...
So the right flank, you'd say, at this point is Dan's.
Yeah, Dan just moves that
I see.
dragon to make it easier for moving stuff around, I think, yeah.
I see. So the dragon was... Or the worm.
Yeah.
Okay, well this is taken... Because what's the...
I still think Chris has the advantage here, because he can choose where to go. And Dan's just rapidly running out of units, actually. Certainly the units that can do stuff.
Yeah.
Effectively, he's got 3 good units left, doesn't he? He's got the
Enslaved
Guardians
yeah.
and the two flyers. Everything else he's got is just bits, really.
So Dan's measuring, look. Guess he's just checking what the flanks are. Okay, so there we go. So he's putting the So he's just using the spare base there, just to indicate where the worm is. Okay, so it's just checking which one he's rolling for there, actually.
So you have to injure yourself.
Just like this. Okay, I see. So we'll go and find out in a second which one that one is. So just saying, I think the dragon's just attacked, the worm rather, has attacked. I don't know what that unit is up there.
Is it one of the fire teams? Is it?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah, if it's where it looks like it is, it's one of the fire teams. So we were just refreshing there. So it was drain life from the soul snare that we'd missed. That had done a huge amount of damage onto the black souls before the enslaved guardians charge, which meant that although the enslaved guardians didn't do masses,
no, they did enough.
And of course Dan then rolled a 6 on a nerve as well, so took them off from that point of view. So yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah.
A good move.
So I'd say now, well, obviously the more. So it's this will be Chris's turn 4. Yep.
And I think Newbie Dice, that's a good point. I mean, Dan's flyers are likely to do exactly that, just keep jumping around. I mean, Chris has locked one down now, locked Pappy down now. I guess the problem will be, can Dan's flyers get around and actually get to the objectives? Though?
Yeah.
Because if Chris just plays the scenario and keeps the objectives, then it doesn't really matter if you've got these good flyers hanging around. If they can't take enough objectives or deny enough objectives, then the game is Chris's. I mean, Chris certainly has the tactical options with so many more units, but he doesn't have as much versatility as
and also they're tough units to get rid of as well. I think with Infernoc, I think
everything's strong, isn't it?
If Infernoc had gone earlier on, then it would have been a different.
I mean, I think that was the turning point in the game. I think.
Yeah.
We may have spoken too soon, though.
No,
probably have.
Well, we'll see. Well, I think last year when me and Dan were commentating, Dan was saying it was all over, and I can't remember who was playing, and it came back and they actually won it. So
that's interesting. So Chris has sent forward both his Abyssal half-breeds and his Great Assyrian golem there towards that objective and the skeletons, because I don't suppose he really needs to send both, to be honest. I mean,
I guess I wonder if one's going to sit there on the objective and the other one's going to.
Yeah, I guess you're giving yourself some redundancy, aren't you?
Yeah, he's got two turns there. I suppose
I guess as well one can stay there and the other heads off to get the second.
I think the golem. I think the golem probably. Or maybe the golem. Well, I wonder if the golem's going to be easier to get round.
Well, he's too slow though because he's shambling, isn't he?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be if he goes for the other one, it'll have to be the half-breeds because they'll be faster.
Has he got Surge? What's he got? Has he got any Surge?
He hasn't got it anywhere near there. If he has, he's only got it on Dravik Dalkin, who's all the way up by the Katsushan.
Sounds like something you'd order in a Japanese restaurant. The Katsukan rocket launcher, please.
Oh, you don't want the rocket
Oh,
launcher.
that's nice.
No, you don't want a rocket launcher. Extra wasabi with that one.
Yeah.
So where are we going now? So Chris is moving forwards and turning. Who are they? They are. I forget which ones they are.
Look at the list there. That must be his.
Is that?
He's not.
One of his slave.
It might be his slave.
One of his
too.
slave. One of his slave.
Yeah. So they're in the side. I mean, they're not going to do much to the enslaved guardians, are they?
No, but
I
they're
guess
just keeping them away from
they're
that
an irritant. Yeah.
Yeah, keeping away from the objective. And I guess, Chris has now got things all around those guardians. So he's got some shooting there, which
There we go. As
he
predicted,
could
he's
use.
shooting the.
Yeah.
He's just checking there.
Looking to see if he can get those scavengers. Not sure. I think he can just get them by the looks of it.
I think by the one on the left, but not the one. So that's two, isn't it? That's
There's
two separate
there,
rocket
two there.
launchers, yeah.
And so they have range 5. They've got blast D3. They do have indirect fire, but they still need the angle, of course.
Okay. So it looks like
3
you've got
attacks each.
one wound on those.
Yeah. But their nerve is pretty poor. It's only 10-12, so any damage makes it possible.
I think, yeah. So I guess another one. Look, I think this one's on there.
And,
Oh no, here we go. This is on the enslaved
he's
guardians.
shooting. No, now he's shooting with the fire team onto
Yeah.
the king. Looks like can't tell how many he's in it, but Dan's going to put down some whites, so that's less than 5.
Yeah.
Dan
Yeah,
uses his little circular.
That's right. Like, almost like polo mints. Yeah. Morning, Kirsten. How's the game going? Well, we
We don't know.
don't know. No, I think it's. I think we'll have to whisper, but I think we think it's Chris, right?
Yeah, but you say Chris, I'll say Dan.
Okay,
and
then
then
we'll
one
both
of
be
us will be
right.
right,
Yeah.
and then we'll
Well,
be fine.
I'm going to say Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dan. Actually, it's Chris.
So yeah, there was. If you have just tuned in, there was a decisive moment earlier on when Dan just failed just to take Infernoc off the middle of the board, and that changed it after that. I think that always.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
When we look back in history at this event,
This will be one of the turning points, won't it?
Yeah.
This will be like, it'll be like the whitecoats at Marston Moor.
Yeah.
Things that should not have happened.
if this was a scene in a film, that'd be the bit where they'd run. A guy would run up, blap Infernoc over the head with a massive hammer, and it'd just ding off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be like using his rubber hammer.
That'd be the low point in the film. In a film when they always have the trajectory, the story arc, that'd be the low point where the heroes are like, oh my goodness.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, I think for all of us, there's been quite a few low points already in this Clash of Kings, but this might be one
So
of
it's
the
only half 11.
half 11. Yeah, absolutely.
Kirsten, really, you shouldn't be watching this. You should be busy painting your Basileans. Basileans? Basilians? What do
I
you-
like Basileans.
Basileans. Well, everyone will get on. Hang on. Ben, stand in front of the camera. Stand in front of the camera and say, how do you pronounce Basileans? In front of the camera, go on.
Can it hear me from that?
Yeah.
I've also just been handed this.
Get off. Yeah, that's it. You've had your chance.
It's gone.
You've got that. I'm taking you off. Now let's shameless self-promotion.
You're not on.
Yeah.
He's not got it on.
I've switched you off now. Basilian. Oh, you say Basilians?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've had one vote for Basilians.
We should have a public vote.
Matt, you can go in front of the camera. How do you say the heroic troops beginning with B? Oh, Martin's going on now. Don't be rude. What have you got in your hand?
I was just handed. I didn't. You got me in trouble.
Hello, it's Basileans.
Ben, you can say it now. How do you say this?
I would normally say Basilians because I'm English, but everybody else seems to be saying Basileans.
Okay, interesting.
It's a made-up word,
Matt Gilbert? How do you say
Basileans.
Basileans.
Not like Brazilians.
Okay, there we go. Interesting.
How do we know until we take their costume?
Brazilians over in Brazil.
In Brazil, there you go.
English tends to emphasise the second syllable.
Oh yeah, Kirsten says she wants to see a game get someone killing ogres after
See you well.
I think she suffered at the hands of some ogres the other night.
Looking good.
blue tack telling you where things are. Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very high tech.
You can't see the inner workings here, can you?
No.
But, honestly, we've got blue tack, we've got screens held together with sellotape, we've got lives held together with sellotape, relationships.
Bee goblins. Yeah, I mean actually, Jerry's right. I mean, all the heroic troops are called goblins, so that's fine. No, if we were saying the best troops, then it's goblins.
Yeah. It's
the new stuff.
Well, I'm just going down, hang out, be a nerd.
Kirsten, what is that? That tune? What is it? What should the music be for that one? So he says we need Ronnie to say Basileus once and for all. He'll probably say Nightcrawlers. Yeah.
Weren't they a band?
The night. Who knows? Nightcrawlers, Night Stalkers, Night Walkers.
Not Night Walkers. Oh, jeez.
There we go. We've got a bit distracted by all that.
There's a game going on.
Sorry for those who've tuned in for some insightful commentary, and we're
you're not getting it, are you? You're not getting it.
Well, no, we've done our
The
bit.
day's still young, to be honest, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure we'll get better as the games go on.
We've started hot, actually.
Yeah.
We have started hot. We're going.
We'll be
going hot.
one out.
Yeah.
So down here, Enslaved Guardians. What do you reckon?
So yeah, he's just being sensible there. He's bringing stuff back. Yeah, the slave orcs aren't going to do a lot, but in the rear they do some. There's a bit of damage on those enslaved guardians already, I think. And obviously, the other thing is he wants to be close to that objective. So if he was to go off chasing the character, just check the name, Dravak, yes, he may well kill him, but he'd actually end up further away from the bits he needs for the game, the objectives. So by coming back to the centre, he should take off the slave orcs at some point, and then it gives him the option of potentially coming back to the centre. And of course, he's got that dragon, worm,
Yeah.
which if he gets a double combo on the already quite damaged Infernox, he could take that off, and that leaves him hanging onto that central one. So there's options there, I think.
Oh, I see it. Basilean figures, though.
I like it. I
got
like
it. Actually, I
Very
never
good.
got that. There we go.
Good. Very nice, Kirsten. Very nice. Anyway, it's not making you paint miniatures, is it?
No. Well, no. And also, she says she's doing a Frost Giant.
What?
Yeah.
You don't need
Taking
them
a
in
break.
Basileia.
No, they're not in Basileans.
No, they're far too northern. Basileans, it's a temperate climate, isn't it?
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. They like a bit of green foliage, don't they?
Yeah, well, this is probably actually quite a nice Basilean.
Yeah,
Was
I
it on
guess
the
so.
Ophidian, I guess?
Yeah, I guess it's heading a bit. It's getting a bit more Mediterranean looking,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Ophidia maybe, or close to the Trident Realms, one of those island chains.
Oh,
of Trident
yeah.
Realms.
Yeah, well, where the salamanders live, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit warmer.
Temperate climb. So actually, we will be on this table. We will be on this table all the time, actually, the top table. We might change.
Well, is it actually going to be top table every time?
No, it's not. No, on the stream.
Yeah, I mean, we need to get some rubbish players on there too, don't we?
Yeah. No. Well, we like all comers to take it on. They all want to get they're all equal opportunities.
No, I think it's important though. I think it's important to not just have.
No, it's not the top. It will obviously be the top for the last game.
Yeah, of course.
But
Some results starting to come in now.
some results starting to
Two
come in.
20-0s, one after the other.
2:20.
They always finish quick, those games.
Yeah. So there's still 43 minutes left.
There was
Yeah.
a dwarf player, 20-0 a nature player,
Dwarf player 20-0, the dwarf force the nature player.
and the one with his undead. I don't know who's playing.
Andy Meekin just won with his undead.
Wow.
20-0. Wow.
He's a bit nervous afterwards because he's terrified of his next round now.
I
of
20
course.
0'd someone for the first time ever about 6 months ago. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, I want to scream with joy, but I feel like, pardon? Yeah, well, I took the top half off, of course, as I was running around the room. I'd already had the bottom half off, that's probably why I got distracted.
That's how I kind of reference it in my head.
So actually, are those scavengers still? I think those scavengers have still survived.
Yeah, they have. And
They're hanging in there, aren't they?
And what Dan has done is he's just dropped them behind the hill. And the only reason he's done that is to then grab that objective if Pappy was
That's Jay at the bar.
move off. So if Pappy moves off or does something else, he's still got some another unit in the scavengers to either contest that objective on the right-hand side of the table, or to potentially grab it if the Black Souls are defeated.
So,
Pappy's got some serious staying power with Dash 21.
yeah,
He really has.
there we go. Last one. Yeah, I'm doing a bit. Yeah.
Would you rather that finish?
No, we're fine. I think you can have it. Well, we're doing a bit.
So Chris has just moved back the horde of golems.
Golems, we decided,
I'm going
didn't we?
for golems.
I'm going to go for golems.
I think it's a.
That could be
Is
another
it,
contentious
is it,
point for the weekend.
Yeah, is it golems or golems? I think golems is
I say
from
golems.
like the Middle East. And
Well, it's
Jewish
originally
or something like that, isn't
it is originally a Jewish phrase, isn't it? So
So I think golems.
I think with a. Wow, can you hear that rain?
Yeah, what is that?
That is the rain. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's absolutely tipping it down outside. This is biblical. We've sprung some leaks. Okay, interesting. It's like the Trident realm. So we've been distracted by the weather temporarily there.
There was one pen I gave it away.
Oh, you missed it. Sorry, we missed it then because we got distracted by the weathers. But your house was taken out by that immortal guard. So now Pappy's left on his own devices there. Oh, Kieran says golems. How's that word? Golems. I'm not sure about golems. Golem. Yeah, golems. Here we go. What's that about golems? Golems. That sounds like if there was a team called the Lemmings. So now let's have a look what's going on here. So on the right side, you've got Dan now sitting pretty with Pappy. He's looking pretty pleased with himself. Nah, Jerry, I've never seen rain like this. Although we are in Stockport, so I guess you should expect a certain amount of rain. So Dan's just checking. Oh, okay, blimey, right. So that is Infernox finally gone. So that must have been the dragon took him out then, I think, as well. Okay, so this makes things interesting. Bob Point in the house, nice to see you, Bob. Yeah, good. So let's have a look now. We've got big purple wings seem to be the theme of this game. I mean, aren't they the theme of Kings of War in general? Big purple wings. Andy, you go away and all the exciting stuff happens.
Oh, what have I missed?
Infernox gone. The Black Souls have gone.
The Black Souls have gone for Pappy, took the Black Souls off. Okay.
And Infernox gone.
I think
gone.
Infernox is not surprising. He had quite a lot of damage
No.
on him, didn't he, for those 2 Guardian charges earlier. That's not surprising.
So now, actually, it's. I mean, has this swung back to?
So what's Dan got? Dan's got 2 for certain, 2 objectives for certain, whereas Chris has got 1 for certain.
That's the one on the far left.
Yeah. With
So
the
let's.
Slave Orcs.
So let's. Hey, what's that, Andy? You want me to draw on the screen? Okay,
Yeah, if
well I
you would
will.
be so kind.
So let's give. What should we do? Let's say. Dan can be green. So which ones are we saying Dan's got? Dan's got obviously Pappy over here.
Yeah, and then he's got this central one closest to the bottom of
Central. So there. So Dan has got the green ones there. So these are the pillage markers. And then we'll say Chris can be orange. So Chris has got the one here. There you go. Which other one is Chris? So, and he's got this bottom. No, he hasn't got the bottom.
He hasn't
left,
yet.
has
That's contested at the minute. I think he will have that because it's only the
Yeah.
there's only the skeletons there. So I think that's pretty likely he'll take that one.
So 2-1 at the minute then.
Yeah. I mean, I think
The middle one, I guess you would think.
it's either going to be contested. Most likely it'll be contested.
Yeah.
Or if not, then.
Oh no, so Chris has got the bottom left, hasn't he? Look.
Oh, he has now. Is
Yeah,
he taking the
'cause-
skeletons off now? No, they're still.
No, he hasn't. Oh, he
still
hasn't.
in
Sorry,
combat.
sorry.
Still in combat. But he will have that because with.
He's going to take those.
He's going to take that,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Skelly
So-
Bobs are going to get killed. Kirsten, good lord, this is a bit high tech. Well,
Don't
if
worry.
you could, if
Don't
you could
worry.
actually see,
Yeah.
we've got a computer that's been smashed with a Hoover and is held together by sellotape and bits of blue tack on the
I think
screen.
it's important
so-
that we do mention that was Rob Berman's wife. Who, so poor Heather.
Heather,
who's
if you're
long
watching at
suffering,
home, I'm very sorry.
She won't be, will she?
No, she said the boys wanted to watch.
Oh really? Hello.
Yeah. So I don't think they will be now. But let's see. Yeah, they said they might watch.
I think it's fair to say that Rob Berman's kids are an improvement on the origins of the
The sum is greater than their parts. Both don't look like me either, which is
That is quite concerning,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. One's got blonde hair, one's got ginger hair. Obviously, I've got very brown hair, so yeah.
I'm not gonna go into the
weird
details
as well,
of how
but-
that happens.
The timings as well. I was away.
Were you working abroad?
Yeah, I was working abroad for a long time.
Yeah.
I guess, you know.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
I guess if you have some pretty hot and
they-
heavy Skype conversations, then things can happen.
Were they the biggest babies on the neonatal unit? Were they born early, but they were 7 pounds at only 30 weeks? It's strange how that happens sometimes, isn't it? It's the only way the timings fit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they're not listening to that now. No, they're thinking, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is he really our daddy?
Why does Mummy always go to see
Don't-
Uncle Gareth?
Yeah, you don't get this on Match of the Day. Let's just say that.
No. Yeah, you get hot Gary Lineker with his tax avoidance and.
Whoa, hang on. We're going to get taken off the airways in a minute.
That's actually fact. That one.
Controversial.
That's actually fact.
Well.
From a few years. Anyway, let's get back to the game. What game are we playing anyway? Dead Zone. Yeah, right. So these enforcers here and the
No.
plague. No, sorry, hang on, that's not right. Right, what is happening? So. Yeah,
So we've still got.
I think it was very.
We're on turn 5 now.
Turn 5.
Turn 5, we've got 35 minutes left.
So Chris has rolled some dice.
This must be, I guess.
I think it might be those. Is it those golems?
The rocket launch. No, it's not the rocket launch.
No, I think it's those golems.
There's a lot of dice, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think it might be those golems against the king.
Is Rob going to host
Is
in his
that 8
pants?
points?
Well, I mean, let's just see. You can't see this side of the camera.
Yeah, thank God for that. Nerve check and oh no, it was the slave orcs, but they're gone.
The slave orcs have gone.
Okay, so that was
Okay,
expected,
so now-
but important.
that?
Interestingly, so he's turned the half-breeds around to face back towards the king.
I guess he's worried about the.
Yeah, so he's got that one, and he's not going to bother then to try and get the other one. Which I guess if we are round 5, then
Yeah, he's not going to make. Yeah,
well,
why
he
leave
could.
it? I guess.
He could make it, but it's not worth the effort. I
So I
guess.
suppose that could be the problem if he ran off and the worm flew over. Potentially, I guess he could just. fly over.
Well, it won't be able to fly over because
No,
he's going
he's
to
gonna
take some
of course,
damage in
yeah.
combat. Well, you would hope he takes some damage in combat.
Chris changing gears to shoot at the Soul Drain war engine. That means Pappy and Guardian's going to live.
Yeah, I think he's given up on that side. I think he's got nothing to take Pappy, has he? Those rocket launchers aren't going to take Pappy off. And of course, even if they did, the scavengers, would just jump on that objective and score it. So I think Chris has quite sensibly decided, yep, that
So he's obviously hidden the
gone.
scavengers behind the hill so that he can just pop them out at the end.
Yeah, what height are we saying for hills in Cox? Height 2. Are we doing height 2 for hills? Height 2 for hills?
Last two.
Hills height 2, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, hills high
So
too.
height 2, so
Yeah.
that means that they're not visible, the other side of the
Yeah, so they're hidden. They're tucked away nicely behind that. So this must be Dan's turn 5 then. Let me just check. I'll just check.
2 for 2, 2 for 2. So 2 for 2 on the objectives. What's going to happen in the middle there?
Yeah, Dan's turn 5. So
So it looks like Dan is considering whether he can get somewhere with Pappy and then use the scavengers to grab that one there. He could snatch this. He could snatch
yeah.
victory
So the minute it's
from
two.
the jaws
So let's
of
hang on.
Pappy.
I'm going to write.
But actually,
I'm going to be. So it's Chris Orange.
oh, look
Look
this
at
is
this.
just embarrassing. Oh,
Look, there we go. Chris Orange.
oh my goodness.
Well, we just want to make sure, you know,
It's not the right shade.
it doesn't matter. And then
does matter.
Dan
I think we all
is
know it does
green. So this is so, for the people at home, you can keep track of who is Dan.
In the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah, but this is when it's coming to the crunch.
It literally the crunch. Yeah. So that's quite interesting that Dan has decided to leave the objective there on the right of the screen and has gone to try and take some more points actually because there's no other point in taking those rocket launchers off.
No.
He can't get to anything more interesting. I'm sure he'd prefer to go somewhere else, but he's having to go at those rocket launchers now.
I guess it stops him just in case.
Yeah, I mean it's points, and points matter in a tournament because they're going to be used as a
Points
differential.
mean prizes.
Well, they might do, or they might just mean that you end up slightly higher up the table.
Yeah,
I
so
don't think he's done enough there.
Dan is getting the top middle. The fight is for the centre objective.
So he's
Yeah, I
using. Is that the soul snare? He's using the soul snare there.
Well, you'd think the enslaved guardians would take out the slave orcs, wouldn't you?
So the soul snare has gone for the golems.
Right.
Golems. Oh, cheers.
Golems, you've decided.
We have decided, but it doesn't help me say it.
Oh, so he's, looks
then
like he's regenerated on the.
Well, that's with the soul snare. So he's used drain life on the golems.
Yeah.
And then he's put some of that life back onto his Revenant King.
That's powerful, that isn't it? To kind of
Really
keep
good, good. Yeah, because you're taking damage off someone else and you're healing your own models. So it's a really good spell.
And you can cast it into combat.
And you can cast it into combat, and it's got 18-inch range. Jeez, I hope version 3 nerfs this. That's immense. So, newbie dice, you'd say Dan is getting the top middle.
I actually say maybe he's going to fly over.
Maybe, yeah, but he's just had his. Only if he gets another. Only in turn 6. He could get in turn 6, which is obviously what he's aiming for. He will get in turn 6, in fact, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. The battle is going to be over the centre. And actually, I'm gonna change my. I'm gonna go. I said Dan earlier, didn't I? I think I said Dan.
I said Chris.
And Rob said Chris. And I think we all know who's going to be right.
Yeah. Well, it's flipped.
It's flipped, isn't it?
We called it. We tried to call it too early, I think.
We did. I think it shows
we didn't believe
it
in
shows you that the good players will just keep on pushing.
I think what he didn't give up.
Absolutely.
No.
Moral courage.
I'll tell you what, I think we might have to just shout to say there's. Matt, do you want to shout to say there's 30 minutes left? Or I think I may have broken the mic.
You're live streaming right now.
Yeah, we are. Ronnie's just come down. Oh, thank you.
There are 30 minutes left. 30 minutes. Just disgusting bananas.
Yeah, it's off there.
Ronnie's threatening me with a banana.
Can we turn that off again, do we?
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
It's actually just juice from the.
How do we stop the feed? How do we stop the feedback?
feedback?
I don't know. Hang on, we've got to put. Yeah. There we go.
I know we have that.
Sorry about that. I was getting harassed by Ronnie with a
You're
banana.
getting a banana in the ear.
Just don't let him mush it near, or you'll start getting in all manner of trouble. I'll tell you, it's the most disgusting banana I've ever met in my life.
Really? I'm not a fan of bananas. They've got to be just right, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just firm enough.
Yeah.
Once they get a bit brown on the edge. Or
This
they
is
get a
what
bit
the
soft.
people at home tuned in for. A
Banana
discussion
is
about whether Andy likes
Fruit-based
bananas.
discussions.
Yeah.
Fruit-based discussions. What's your favourite fruit?
Oh, this has descended into local radio territory.
You used to do
Will,
that, didn't you?
what's in your loft?
Well, you don't want to know what's in my
Have
loft,
the
actually.
BP's calculation thing anywhere?
A couple of bodies.
Go and see Matt. He'll
A
be
couple
able
of
to say
bodies
it.
in my loft.
Yeah.
You know. They were there before, honestly.
Matt Gilbert has a picture in his loft of a very fat bloke.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah. It's the picture
Is
of
this a little
Matt
bit like
Gilbert.
a picture of
just-
Dorian
Yeah.
Gray
Yeah,
thing
correct.
that's going on?
He eats colossal amounts of food, and he's
He
like
just pushed it into the picture.
5'2", and never puts any. Yesterday he ate more than an American, having had 2 lunches, didn't he?
Yeah.
I brought him a lunch in, a bit of pork pie and a cheese sarnie, and then Rob demanded a McDonald's on the way home.
Kirsten, you
Set
can
up.
blink, 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 blink.
He's the Banana King.
Please shoot off the centre guardians, Chris.
Well, I think that he could do. There's quite a bit of damage on him. I don't know if he's going to get the shot with
danger.
both of them.
Sadly, you can't see. I'll have to run round to the camera.
Yeah. Hold on.
Andy's just going to have a look at something. He's going to check on something here. Oh, I think he's just taking them off to do some measurements.
Guardian's only got 2 damage on.
Oh, the Guardian's only got 2 damage on, so they are. I mean, they're sitting pretty there. 2 damage, dash 17 for the nerve. So, yeah, Kirsten, I'm at the Northwest Gaming Centre. I'm going to wear a special hat so you recognise me.
Eat the banana and I can put the banana skin in the orchard too.
Oh, okay, I'll eat it. I don't want to eat it while I'm. I don't think people want to listen to me eat a banana.
Oh, yeah. If you're in public, want to see that.
They want a video of it.
Okay. So, Enslaved Guardians, they're going to be sitting pretty. I guess.
They're good. So what Chris has just done is just moved that fire team up.
Right.
And he's done that purposefully to sacrificial, really. And he's making sure that the overrun distance is quite far.
Right.
So that they won't be able to overrun into the, or if they might be able to overrun, but it'll be a big roll.
Yeah.
To get into the other golem, the Greater Obsidian golem.
And obviously, potentially, third. That not always be the case. If you're yielding.
What's that, sorry? In Kingdom War version 3?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So some units are yielding, so it means you can't stop a unit kind of discharging. Okay, so we've got Chris now. We'll put
adding
a little bit more damage.
5, 6, I think. 6 damage on them.
Yeah.
We got a nerve of dash 17 there, so we're going to have to do some. It's going to be a big roll, I think.
In that case, Jerry, no one will know what it is. We'll be here all day.
2 breath attacks now. This is where it could count. 2 breath attacks. 4's needed. Can't see the numbers obviously from here, but 3.
Looks like he's picking it out.
4, 5, 7, 8. It looks 9. Is that 9?
Oh,
11 then. 11 probably.
So he's just counting them up now.
Half a dozen damage.
Let's have a look. What's he going for? He's going for a yellow. So it looks like 8.
So we should see a nerve check coming up. Let's see the nerve
check.
It looked like 4. Yeah, I think he's done a fair bit on them.
Has he? And it looked like he was putting
a decent roll. Oh,
yes,
Dan's happy. That
happy.
was Dan that's happy. So yeah. So that's important. I think if they'd have gone, I think obviously Chris would have been fairly happy.
Yeah.
Very happy. That would have taken the pressure off immensely. I think Dan will now be able to grab certainly that back one with Pappy, and probably that central one as well, depending on how this next combat goes, of course.
2 wounds. Is that easy to say? And he got 2 wounds on him.
Come on, Chris, take him down in round 1.
Nah.
I think he swung it back.
Good that Ronnie's impartial here. He wants everyone to.
Come on, Chris. All Mantic Army, hammer in, do in.
Okay.
Does Chris's count as a full Mantic Army?
Yeah. Well, he can still. I mean, you can hear. Obviously, you can hear.
Deep down, underneath, it's 100% magic. It's just very deep.
Just very deep under a lot of green stuff.
A lot of green stuff. He's turned around and now realised he's got 80 full figures.
Yeah.
With no heads.
No.
Hence his new tentacle army.
I think it's important to recognise that Mantic is the affordable gaming company, so that you can do that.
Yeah.
You get 80 figures tossing.
Yeah, you can spend 5 times as much on green stuff as you can on the models. So he's just like, looks like this is all kind of in the middle, so he's running for the.
Yeah, so it's vicious kicking in there, is it?
Yeah. So I guess the yellows must be on Dan's. They must be worth 5.
Yeah, yellows are worth 5. Whites are worth 1. Is the way Dan.
Oh, they're fine. So that's okay. That's a worm then. He's survived.
Yeah, the worm has survived. I think it would still been a pretty tall order because of the drain life he just did. If you think back just to Dan's round, draining life, and he was healing off the Revenant King, and that could have made all the difference.
Well, Kirsten says, "Oh, he's gone." We'll ask him now when the next
I think we all know the answer, and the answer is no.
Is this Chris's turn 5? Or I think this is Chris's turn.
My brother Gary Sharp has just turned up, who is
Ronnie.
The owner of Black Dragon Miniatures, one of the finest gaming centres in the Midlands.
Are you done, Chris? Okay.
check it out.
So okay, so this is Dan's turn 6.
Hey, new bro. Oh? Yeah, he's done check,
So Dan's turn 6.
Yeah, and I think Dan's got it here, isn't he? So Dan's going to take that fire team off without any problem. Pappy's going to jump onto that far one at the back as.
So this is the last turn, theoretically.
Yeah, I mean, is there a turn 7 roll?
I think you roll for turn 7. Matt, we're still rolling for turn 7. Yeah, so there could be a turn 7. Let's have a look now. So Pappy will have to fly over to the back. So he's pointing at Pappy now. God, that'd be awful if he forgot, wouldn't it? If he forgot to fly him over.
It wouldn't be beyond Dan to forget something like that in a critical moment of a game. He's done that before.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm primed.
Rob is poised.
I was
ready
excited.
to use a green.
Oh
no, you're too soon.
Why? He's there, look.
You have to take his hand off the miniatures yet.
Okay, sorry. It's not, just like chess. So 3-2 now.
And of course, this is turn 6. So Chris has already had his turn 6.
Yeah.
So Chris has a maximum of 1 turn left, and that's assuming he gets the 4+ roll anyway.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
because obviously Chris went first. So this is it. This is the last one.
So this could be it.
It could be all over.
I think this is the Guardians against the fire team. Not massive damage. Bit of life leech there.
So this has been quite a swingy game. At one point, I think we'd kind of almost we'd possibly written him off.
Well, I think that's what we're meant to do as commentators, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you meant to get it totally. That's what I see we're doing a good job. You meant to get it completely wrong. Oh, they've lost the dice there. Oh, 6. Look, they've done it. They've done the flipping egg.
Oh, and he's overrun the maximum amount, which obviously Chris had positioned himself so he was finding that would have been unlikely. But now that
So I guess does that mean Dan's got them? Will Dan have the centre one as well now?
Well, I think he's got it anyway, but he might be able to take off. Is that the Golem who's on
that one as well.
Yeah, it might still technically be contested, but if you can get that flank charge.
Do you know where we can see? All the lists will be on the Kings of War Masters site, which Nick Williams runs. They might not be up straight away.
Probably a day or two.
Yeah, but they'll be shared kind of later in the week. So keep an eye out.
But we'll talk through the lists that come on the camera.
Yeah. Whenever we're looking through, we'll talk through what's on by me. So this is all of a sudden everything's getting cleared off now, by.
There's nothing left, is there? Nothing left. Trinky poos. You can take that one back.
No, I might have. Yeah.
And that was after the dive.
Matt, have you got any pens?
Kieran, speak English. What's that?
Oh, at the bar they might.
Ooh, and that was after the die fell off the tape. Did the die fall off? Did we miss the dice fall off?
No, I saw it.
Oh, yeah. Kept it to yourself.
Highlight of the game.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. I was waiting for the TMO.
So 4-2 we're saying now.
Oh, Kieran, have you seen the rugby result this morning? Just thought I'd mention that.
Kieran, he's probably just stopped crying, I guess, maybe. Oh, never tempt fate with a 6-inch overrun chance.
I think, Fred, it's important to never tempt fate with 6 inches of anything.
No. It will happen.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. You take these chances, don't you? And if the
YOLO.
If the luck, YOLO. I love it.
You only live once.
Yeah, that's Rob being down with the.
That's my philosophy. Oh, there we go. And that's it. So they must have had. So no turn 7.
It's your dead zone philosophy.
Yeah, my dreadful philosophy. So there we go. So that was. Dan, you all done? Yeah, that's it, all done. So there we go.
It's going to be 4-2.
Yeah, we think that's 4-2 to Dan.
So it's a lot of damage there. Although actually, with Pappy the King and 1 enslaved Guardians, Dan has got more points left on the table than it looks.
Yeah.
He's got probably just under 1,000 points.
I mean, I think if he'd taken off Infernock earlier on in the game, it would have been a much more one-sided one. As it was, it kind of went.
Yeah.
But no, so well, very good. Thank you for joining me on the first game, Andy.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Rob.
Well, yeah, it's been very good. Well, obviously, we'll hopefully get per 4-1. So.
Oh yes, of course, because he's taken the half breeds off. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. Oh, so we missed that one.
Yeah,
we missed that one, didn't we? Yeah.
So I mean, that's an interesting one. Why Chris decided to take those off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know why he did actually. To be honest. Yeah. We've missed that one. I don't know why he did that.
No. I guess.
Because they weren't in combat. Oh, he went for Mortibus, didn't he?
Yeah.
He went for Mortibus.
Okay. So maybe that's what it was. But no, very good game. So well done to Dan for that one. We'll try and maybe grab Dan in a minute, actually, on the other camera. Well, thank you very much for joining us. What we'll do now is we'll just put the camera on the. Can you play this game solo?
Kings of War? Not really.
No.
I mean, you can practice playing, of course, but you do need an opponent to play with this game.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of its values. Why tournaments obviously are so important is that it's not just competitive; it's playing a bunch of people you don't play with regularly in army builds and everything.
Yeah. So what we actually let's have a look. We can have a look around the rest of the room now. We can unfortunately just see
Ben's sweaty armpit.
You won't be able to. We were talking anyway. Sorry, we were just talking then, and it was pointless. So what we'll do is we'll just put it on this.
Has it got its own mic?
No, switched off. So we're just going to turn. Well, we'll
we get Dan and Chris up for a
we'll try and get Dan and Chris up when they've finished doing all their scores. When they've finished doing all their scores, when they come up with new scores, we'll grab them. So we'll just go quiet for a minute, but then we'll be back in a second. Yeah, that is actually that's live now. So we're back on.
It's not going to your head.
So, are we meant to say things?
No, we're fine. You're fine.
Oh, okay.
So hello. Hopefully we're all on the camera now. Unless that's Andy. Andy, are we all on the camera?
You are all on the
And I've put it off mute, so we're fine.
Put it off mute. You're all good to go.
Okay. Well, so thank you very much to Chris and Dan who joined us on the live stream for the first game. How do you feel that went?
Really, really well, all the way up to the point where I lost.
Yeah, it's funny. I must admit that being very good professional commentators, myself and Andy completely called it wrong. So after you failed to take Inferno off, we were like, we think Chris has probably got it. But then actually it swung round quite significantly by the end. So
I lost quite a lot. At that point, I was a bit like, oh dear. But my army's got quite a lot of resilience.
Yeah.
I can sort of pinpoint various things, and when I was able to get you a little individual, because I've got that hop over, suddenly getting that worm in the rear.
Yeah.
They didn't quite do one, which would have been ideal, but then at least I managed to overrun into that plank of so.
Yeah, it's a close one. Were you sweating a bit there, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, it was like really up until, well, really 5. I think it was pretty. We couldn't call it. Obviously, we called it wrong and said it was going to be you. That's what we jinxed you then.
No, I like that. For a minute, I was winning.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I got to admit that having not played for a while, I mean, the second, I think it was at the start of Dan's turn, I just finished the turn and I realised when he had that worm which hopped over my line.
Yeah.
I was like, great, I'm going to move forward to burn you, and didn't really think, oh god, they fly 20 and he's thin, but so that was a mistake, but equally, I made a big mistake. I didn't appreciate how much damage the sun saw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was amazing because we were like, oh, you actually it was the Dark Black Souls, wasn't it? I think it was. Yeah. We were like, well, we couldn't see that there'd been much damage on them. So, these guys are pretty fine. So that's going to keep them tied down. Then they got wiped off, and the next minute were flying around and doing all that. So yeah, it was. I think you were obviously when we thought you lost the Enslaved Guardians early outdoors, we were like, that's massive. And then once you didn't get Inferno, because that would have obviously like a freeze at the middle, but then it kind of became a bit of a scrap at the middle.
Yeah. Did you notice I spent a few minutes on the left flank? So basically, Chris had outmaneuvered me. He had the half breeds, and there was nothing I could do to stop him double charging me.
Yeah.
And barring bad dice, you were always going to break them. And then when the others bounced as well, it's like I could lose most of my line here. It's like, oh dear.
Yeah. Because I mean, you looked pretty solid on the right. Yeah. The centre looked a bit wobbly, but on the left, was. Why did you move the half beats off by the end?
Because I realised I was lost. I'd lost, so I was hoping that if there was a turn 6, I was going to charge, try and kill Mortis, turn all the way around, and then
leg it back.
Yeah, leg it back.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, because we were like, we couldn't.
I realised that everything had to go really well. I'd get really lucky dice. I'd kill that dragon.
And this would have thrown a bit of Bane chance. So actually, it might have been the difference between why things and not.
Yeah.
Really, if I did nothing, I was already going to lose. So I was like, I might as well go for it and see if I can scrape a draw.
Yeah. No, that was a really good game. So I hope people at home enjoyed watching that one. So thanks so much for being our second game.
Good.
Yeah, our first proper game really after Nick's hot pant game last night. But we'll be back in a bit. That's it. Well done, Chris.
Thank
you.
Well
done, Dan. Cheers.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in a bit.
Oh yeah.